Welcome to the Knowledge Nook. Today, we're diving into the fascinating world of brain science and revealing 12 brain rules that could completely change the way you think, work, and live. Think of these rules as the user manual your brain never came with. These rules are based on cutting-edge neuroscience and psychology research, the kind of stuff that makes you realize just how powerful and complex that 3-pound organ inside your skull really is. So, if you're ready to unlock your brain's potential and maybe even surprise yourself with what you're capable of, let's get started. We're kicking things off with a brain rule that's near and dear to my heart. And no, it's not about contemplating the cosmos, it's about exercise. You might think of exercise as something you do for your body, but it's actually like a superpower for your brain too. Think about it. The human brain, this complex web of billions of neurons, evolved alongside a body that was constantly on the move. Our ancestors were hunting, gathering, and generally moving around a lot more than most of us do today. And guess what? Our brains still crave that physical activity. Studies show that regular exercise, and I'm not talking about running a marathon every day, even a brisk walk or some light cardio will do, can actually change the structure and function of your brain. It boosts blood flow, which means more oxygen and nutrients for those hungry brain cells. It also stimulates the growth of new neurons in the hippocampus, a part of the brain that's crucial for memory and learning. So, if you're feeling forgetful or struggling to learn something new, getting your body moving might be the key. Remember, a healthy brain is an active brain. So, find an activity you enjoy, whether it's dancing, swimming, or simply taking the stairs, and make it a regular part of your routine. Your brain will thank you for it. Now let's talk about another crucial ingredient for a healthy and high-functioning brain: sleep. I know, in today's fast-paced world, sleep can sometimes feel like a luxury. But let me tell you, when it comes to your brain, sleep isn't a luxury, it's a necessity. Think of sleep as the ultimate brain maintenance period. While you're catching those Z's, your brain is hard at work, consolidating memories, clearing out toxins, and basically hitting the reset button so you can wake up feeling refreshed and ready to tackle the day. Skimp on sleep, and your brain power takes a serious hit. Your focus suffers, your decision-making skills go out the window, and you become more susceptible to stress and negative emotions. And if you make a habit of it, chronic sleep deprivation can have serious long-term consequences for your brain health. So how much sleep do you really need? Well, it varies from person to person, but most adults need around 7 to 9 hours of quality sleep each night. And I'm not talking about those restless nights where you're tossing and turning. We're talking about deep, restorative sleep that leaves you feeling truly energized. So if you want to optimize your brain power, make sleep a top priority. One of the most fascinating things about the human brain is that no two are exactly alike. Just like our fingerprints, our brains are shaped by our unique experiences, forming a complex tapestry of neural connections that make each of us who we are. This means we all learn and process information in slightly different ways. Some of us are visual learners, grasping concepts more easily when we can see them represented visually. Others are auditory learners, thriving in environments where information is presented through sound. And some of us learn best by doing, through hands-on experiences that engage multiple senses. The key to unlocking your full learning potential is to understand your own brain's preferences. What works best for you? What helps you absorb and retain information most effectively? Once you figure out your learning style, you can tailor your study habits and work environment to maximize your brain power. For example, if you're a visual learner, try incorporating more images, diagrams, and even mind maps into your notes. If you're an auditory learner, listen to recordings of lectures or read textbooks aloud. And if you're a kinesthetic learner, don't be afraid to get up and move around while you study. Remember, there's no one-size-fits-all approach to learning. Embrace the uniqueness of your own brain and find what works best for you. Chapter 4. The brain's craving for novelty. Let's face it, our brains aren't wired to sit still and passively absorb information, especially if it's something we perceive as boring. Our brains crave novelty. They thrive on surprises and unexpected twists and turns. Think back to your cave-dwelling ancestors for a moment. Their survival depended on paying attention to anything new or unusual in their environment. A rustling in the bushes could mean a potential meal, or a saber-toothed cat. Fast forward to today, and our brains still operate on that same basic principle. We're constantly scanning our surroundings for anything that stands out from the ordinary. And when we find it, our brains light up with interest. So if you want to keep your brain engaged and prevent it from tuning out, you need to make things interesting. Add some excitement, incorporate visuals, tell stories, or even inject a little humor into your presentations or study sessions. Remember, a bored brain is a brain that's not learning. So keep things fresh, keep things stimulating, and keep your brain happy. Chapter 5. Repeat, 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 the power of practice. This next brain rule is all about the power of repetition. Now, I know what you're thinking. Repetition, isn't that, well, kind of boring? And yes, sometimes repetition can feel a little tedious, but here's the thing. Your brain loves a good workout, and repetition is like weightlifting for your neurons. Every time you repeat a piece of information or practice a new skill, you're strengthening the neural connections in your brain that are associated with that information or skill. It's like paving a road in your brain. The more you travel that road, the smoother and more ingrained it becomes. Think about learning a new language. The first time you encounter a new word or grammatical structure, it might seem completely foreign and impossible to remember. But with repeated exposure and practice, those words and structures become more familiar, eventually becoming second nature. So if you want to truly master a new skill or commit something to long-term memory, don't be afraid to repeat, repeat, repeat. Practice makes perfect, or at least it makes for stronger neural connections and a more efficient brain. Chapter 6. Stress, the brain's arch nemesis. Let's face it, stress is an inevitable part of life. Whether it's deadlines at work, traffic jams, or just the general chaos of everyday existence, we all experience stress from time to time. But here's the thing. While a little bit of stress can actually be beneficial, chronic stress is like kryptonite for your brain. When you're stressed, your body releases a surge of hormones, including cortisol, which is designed to help you deal with immediate threats. But when stress becomes chronic, that constant flood of cortisol can wreak havoc on your brain. It can damage brain cells, impair memory and learning, and even shrink the hippocampus, that crucial area for memory formation we talked about earlier. Chronic stress can also make you more susceptible to anxiety, depression, and other mental health issues. So what can you do to combat stress and protect your brain? Well, there are plenty of stress-reducing techniques out there, from mindfulness and meditation to exercise and spending time in nature. Find what works for you and make it a regular part of your routine. Your brain will thank you for it. Have you ever noticed how certain smells, sounds, or even textures can trigger vivid memories? That's because our senses are powerful tools for learning and memory. And when we engage multiple senses simultaneously, we create even stronger neural connections and more lasting memories. Think about it. When you were a child, you didn't just learn about the world by reading about it in a book. You explored it with all your senses. You touched, tasted, smelled, listened to, and of course, looked at everything around you. As we get older, we tend to rely more heavily on just one or two senses, especially sight and hearing. But by consciously engaging all our senses, we can enhance our learning and make it more enjoyable. So the next time you're trying to learn something new, don't just read about it. Try drawing diagrams, listening to audio recordings, or even incorporating smells or textures if possible. The more senses you engage, the more memorable the experience will be. Of all our senses, vision reigns supreme. It's estimated that up to 80% of the information our brains process comes from our eyes. Think about that for a second. Our brains are constantly bombarded with visual information, from the words on this screen to the complex tapestry of colors and shapes in the world around us. And our brains are incredibly efficient at processing all that visual data. In fact, we can process images in as little as 13 milliseconds, which is faster than it takes to blink. That's why images, videos, and diagrams can be so powerful for learning and remembering information. So, if you want to make your message stick, don't just tell people, show them. Use visuals to illustrate your points, create memorable infographics, and incorporate videos into your presentations. Your audience's brains will thank you for it. We humans are social creatures. We crave connection, interaction, and a sense of belonging. And it turns out, our brains are wired for it. Social interaction actually activates many different areas of our brains, including those involved in empathy, trust, and learning. Think about it. When you have a stimulating conversation with someone, you're not just exchanging information. You're also picking up on subtle cues from their body language, tone of voice, and facial expressions. All of this social information helps us understand and connect with each other on a deeper level. And the benefits of social interaction go beyond just feeling good. Studies have shown that people who are socially engaged tend to have sharper cognitive skills, better memory, and even a lower risk of developing dementia later in life. So, make time for meaningful connections with others. Join a club, volunteer in your community, or simply pick up the phone and call a friend. Your brain will thank you for it. Brain. Chapter 10. Pattern Seekers, Making Sense of the World. From the constellations in the night sky to the intricate patterns in a snowflake, humans have always been drawn to patterns. It's how we make sense of the world around us, predict what's going to happen next, and navigate our complex lives. Our brains are constantly searching for patterns, connections, and underlying structures. It's how we learn language, recognize faces, and even understand complex concepts like mathematics and music. In fact, our brains are so good at finding patterns that sometimes we see them even when they're not really there. Think about conspiracy theories, optical illusions, or even just seeing shapes in the clouds. This innate ability to recognize patterns is a powerful learning tool. When we can organize information into frameworks, systems, or stories, it becomes easier to understand, remember, and recall later. So if you're trying to learn something new, look for the underlying patterns and connections. Create mind maps, draw diagrams, or even just tell yourself a story about the information. Your brain will thank you for making its job a little easier. Chapter 11. The Emotional Brain, Where Learning Sticks. Think back to a time when you learned something new and it really stuck with you. Chances are there was some kind of emotional component to that experience. Maybe you were excited, surprised, or even a little bit scared. That's because emotions play a crucial role in learning and memory. When we experience strong emotions, our brains release neurochemicals like dopamine and norepinephrine, which help to encode memories more deeply. That's why storytelling is such a powerful teaching tool. Stories evoke emotions, which in turn make the information they convey more memorable. Think about your favorite books, movies, or even just anecdotes you've heard. The ones that stick with you the longest are usually the ones that made you feel something. So if you want to create learning experiences that are both engaging and memorable, don't be afraid to tap into the power of emotions. Use storytelling, humor, and real-life examples to bring information to life and make it resonate with your audience. Chapter 12. Neuroplasticity, Your Brain's Superpower. For a long time, scientists believed that our brains were essentially hardwired by the time we reached adulthood. But we now know that's not true at all. Our brains are incredibly adaptable, capable of changing and rewiring themselves throughout our lives. This remarkable ability is called neuroplasticity. It means that no matter how old you are, it's never too late to learn something new, pick up a new skill, or even recover from a brain injury. Every time you learn something new, you're literally changing the physical structure of your brain. Think of it like this. Your brain is like a muscle. The more you use it, the stronger and more flexible it becomes. So, if you want to keep your brain sharp and agile as you age, challenge yourself constantly. Learn a new language, take up a musical instrument, or even just try solving puzzles and brain teasers. Remember, your brain is a work in progress. Keep learning, keep growing, and keep exploring the incredible potential of your mind. Outro: Unlock your brain's potential. These 12 brain rules remind us of the incredible power of our minds and the importance of caring for them. From the food we eat to the experiences we seek out, we have the power to shape our brains and unlock our full cognitive potential. So embrace these brain rules. Make them a part of your life and never stop exploring the vast universe that exists between your ears. Remember, your brain is your most valuable asset. Invest in it wisely. If you found these tips helpful, give us a thumbs up, subscribe, and let us know in the comments which brain rule surprised you the most. Thanks for watching, and keep learning.